People don't realize that copper is a really traditional oil painting surface that's been used for centuries. It's really interesting to play with it showing through and how skin tones look and how it changes in different light. But copper oxidizes very slowly like a roof, so you need to varnish all areas of copper when you're done the painting. So here's how I varnish a painting on copper. First, I make sure I've taken good quality photos and make sure the painting is fully dry. Oil dries slower on copper than on canvas. I waited the typical 6 months, but you could wait 9 to 12 if your work is thicker. I dusted the painting and wore nitrile gloves whenever handling it, because one thing to know about copper is every touch or fingerprint or trace of oil will oxidize and leave a mark. Then I cleaned marks on the copper using isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free cloth, making sure not to touch the paint itself and to dry it thoroughly after. Then I chose the varnish. You can use most typical oil painting varnishes that are usually a mix of solvents and resins, just not acrylic varnishes that have water, and I'd avoid traditional Damar varnish. I'm using Gamvar gloss, but if you're using satin or matte, leaving the varnish bottle in a bowl of warm water will help to remove the bubbles and mix the agents. If you can, test the varnish in the corner or on a piece of separate copper, and then apply the varnish based on the directions of the brand or on the bottle. As I suspected, I had some issues with beading due to the surface tension, which requires brushing the varnish in more vigorously as it gets tacky or dries, and then adding a second coat after. I then create a sort of DIY varnish tent to place over the painting and stop dust from falling in it as it dries. After 24 to 48 hours, the varnish will dry and your painting will be sealed and ready to last centuries into the future.